If you always treat good morning as a routine, you might be missing the hidden opportunity to build an emotional connection. This simple greeting can either spark a flame that makes him think of you all day, or silently sink you into the corner of his memory. It's as polarizing as flipping a coin. Heads up, you become his first thought in the morning. Tails, you fade into the background noise of endless messages. Why not break the routine when every message precisely deep emotions and arouses curiosity? It can even lodge in his mind while he's still bleary-eyed. Swiss psychologist Carl Jung. Words are never random of letters, but symbolic keys at the subconscious. When you understand, this information gains magic. No longer cold text, but a trigger that too many are stuck in ineffective. Communication, sending good mornings, bless you or sleep well. Polite, but empty messages. They're like scratching through boots, failing to spark curiosity, warm the heart, or weave connections. The secret has never lied in rhetoric, but in emotional resonance. As Epictetus said, it's not events that govern us, but our interpretations. Jung would agree. The power of a message lies in the emotional ripples it creates. Today shares 7 heart attack good morning templates. Not just greetings, but precisely designed emotional hooks to activate interest, ignite attraction, and make his thoughts take root after reading. If you've ever felt when messages disappear without a trace, don't rush to blame the other person. Maybe the problem is in the message itself. When greetings become hi or how are you, polite formalities, they're like talking nonsense to a stranger, leaving no impression. When the tone reeks of I need you urgency, like good morning, handsome, I really want to see you, it actually sends a message. My attention is cheap and requires no response, pushing the other person away instead. Jung pointed out that we often unconsciously project our inner desires onto others without realizing it. Sometimes the more you crave connection, the more I need you scarcity energy you transmit, making others want to flee. When your message frequency screams, I'm waiting for you, you're handing over initiative, mystery, and attraction all at once. As Marcus Aurelius said, a person's value lies in what he can give to others. Communication is no different. Messages that can evoke emotional value are instantly categorized as, so how to write that message that makes him stop, feel a flutter, and think of you all day? There's only one secret. Create emotion. For example, you'd never guess who I dreamt of last night. Spark curiosity. Something hilarious happened yesterday, and I thought of you immediately. I'm still laughing. Deliver joy and connection. An incredible thing happened this morning, and you were the first person I thought of. Build suspense and a sense of belonging. You're not alone. Here's a set of private message formulas that can truly ignite his attention. Words that break his usual thought patterns, barge into his emotional system when he least expects it, and make him start waiting for your next message in secret. The first type, the power of mystery in a message. Many people feel disappointed when they send a message and only get a short hymn in return. Or worse, no reply at all. But perhaps it was simply because they revealed their cards too early. You gave away the answer but left no sense of suspense. It's like getting a spoiler before even stepping into the theater. Of course, there's no more thrill. Carl Jung believed that the human psyche is irresistibly drawn to the vague and the unresolved. Mystery is the fuel of emotional imagination. Leave just a little blank space, and the other person will automatically fill in the rest of the story in their mind. That's exactly where attraction is born. Take this message, for example. Good morning. You'll never guess what I dreamed about you last night. Why is that so powerful? Because it triggers a cognitive gap in the brain. We are wired to dislike unfinished information. When something is left unclear or incomplete, we instinctively try to fill in the blanks. Jung called this the summoning of archetypes and symbols. We are magnetically drawn to what we can't fully grasp, almost to the point of obsession. Here's the most important part. When he gets curious and follows up, don't reveal the answer too soon. Give it time. Let his imagination do the work. Let the suspense simmer. Then when the moment is just right, respond lightly. It was really interesting. Hard to explain by text. Want to take a guess? that delicate push and pull, that barely their emotional tightrope, will imprint you in his memory. Because in the end, he may forget the actual words you said, but he will remember how you made him feel. If you want to be remembered, frequent messaging isn't enough. You have to create emotional resonance. Otherwise, you'll be just another name lost in his inbox. A conversation thread that fades without a trace. Have you ever had a dialogue like that? You talked and talked, yet everything stayed on the surface. The words floated, but there was no warmth. No one truly showed up. Jung once said, repressed emotions never disappear. They just return in different forms. Real connection in relationships doesn't come from content. It comes from emotion. And the key to unlocking that emotion might be something as simple yet heartfelt as this. Good morning. I hope today brings you something beautiful. Tell me, what's one dream you most want to make come true? A question like that breaks the cycle of small talk and goes straight to the heart. It's not about asking where he is or what he's doing. It's an invitation to open up, to imagine, to be seen. Because deep down, everyone wants to be understood. And if you're the one who creates that space, he'll begin to place you deeper inside his emotional world when he starts to share. Don't rush to respond, judge, or shift the topic. Instead, reply with warmth and presence. That sounds amazing. What made you fall in love with that dream? Listen, resonate, gently invite him to go further. These micro-emotional conversations penetrate deeper than any shallow flattery ever could. The women who truly move a man's heart aren't the loudest in the room. They are the ones whose hearts know how to listen. Going one step further, if you can invite him to imagine a world with you, then emotional connection is no longer a coincidence. It becomes something natural. Try opening a conversation like this. Good morning. If you could be anywhere in the world right now, where would you go? Once he begins to imagine, his emotions begin to stir. Maybe it's a quiet coastal town or a long-forgotten adventure tucked deep in his memory. And here's the key. As he paints that picture in his mind, you've already become part of it. When emotion fuses with imagination, it creates an anchor in his memory, a vivid emotional landmark. Important reminder. When he answers, don't rush to end the exchange. If he says, I think I'd go to Paris, you could respond, wow, I can totally picture you strolling through the Marais, coffee in hand. Have you always loved French culture? This isn't small talk. This is guiding his imagination to be more vivid and more intertwined with you. From that moment, your conversation gains imagery, texture, warmth, and that is the core of how deep emotional memory is formed between people. Darling, this is the difference. Will your conversation be forgotten like background noise, or will it take up permanent residence in his mind? Curiosity is one of the most powerful emotional hooks. Once activated, it pulls him toward you, deeper and further than even you may have imagined. You've likely experienced this yourself. When someone says we need to talk, even if they say nothing else, your mind kicks into overdrive. Thoughts race. Scenarios play out. Emotions flood in. That's the power of psychological suspense. And you can use it to awaken his emotional participation. Just add a touch of softness and a hint of something unspoken. For example, say, good morning. I just remembered something, and it completely changed the way I see you. It's like a door gently nudged open. The words stop, but the emotions keep going. He won't be able to stop thinking. What did she realize? What did she see in me? Is that a good thing? What's changed? Jung, when speaking of the collective unconscious, described it as a shared psychological space, where emotion, symbols, and meaning are universally understood. This kind of subtle, incomplete message activates that shared space. It creates tension, like the start of a story, where only the first few pages have been turned. And suddenly, he's desperate to know what comes next. But remember, don't reveal it too soon. You can add, not telling you yet, but trust me, you'll want to know. Just a few simple lines can plant a seed of anticipation deep inside his heart. And anticipation is one of the core mechanisms of attraction. Have you ever received a message that didn't quite finish its thought, and found yourself thinking about it all day? That's the power of the information gap. It creates a psychological loop that the mind needs to close. Sometimes incompletion is what makes it addictive. Jung once said, that which is hidden becomes a symbol, and symbols capture us. What we truly crave isn't the known, but the unfinished, the unspoken. Take this simple message, for example. Good morning. Something unbelievable happened last night, and it instantly made me think of you. LL tell you later. Just a dozen words. Yet they can stir up an emotional storm. He'll wonder, what happened? Why me? Was it funny? Deep? Something intimate? You can give him an answer, but you've already claimed his full attention. This is the magnetic pull of emotional suspense, like a melody that ends too soon. It lingers echoing in his mind. When he asks for more, don't rush to reveal the ending. You can gently hold it back. I'm still not sure if I should tell you yet, but it honestly made me laugh all night. That tiny hesitation, that subtle holding back, is emotional tension at its golden peak. You're not playing games. You're inviting his inner world to lean in, extending anticipation, letting emotions slowly rise to the surface, and beyond sparking curiosity. You can also gently guide him back into a memory softened by tenderness. Have you ever experienced this? You hear an old song, and suddenly, memories rushing like a tide. That one moment, the image, the scent, the feeling, all come alive again. Psychologists say, memory isn't about facts. It's about how we felt in the moment. Philosopher Epictetus once wrote, we are not shaped by what we experience, but by how we remember it. Jung took it further. We don't carry events. We carry the emotional symbols they become. So, if you can awaken a warm shared, even imagined, memory, you can re-anchor yourself as a positive presence in his heart. For instance, good morning. I was just thinking about that time we went to park. It really was special. In that instant, his brain starts to fill in the picture. You two under sunlight, a shared laugh, a certain glance. He won't analyze the message. He'll simply feel it. That's the power of this kind of message. It's not about chatting. It's about stirring emotion and reconnecting through memory, because any memory touched by emotional value gets bolded, bookmarked, and stored by the subconscious. Sometimes a single line can ripple across the surface of his heart, not because it's eloquent, but because it echoes with both emotion and imagination. Like, good morning. I just remembered our time at the park. It really was something special. Would you want to go back there sometime? On the surface, it feels light, but it plucks two powerful emotional strings. The first, the echo of memory. It revives a shared joyful experience, bringing back the laughter, the little moments, the sunlit details, and the emotions stored in memory will return with more vividness than any words ever could. The second element, an invitation into the future. This isn't just nostalgia. It's a gentle movement forward, a soft suggestion that maybe, just maybe, there's still something the two of you could share. This kind of unspoken possibility is often more emotionally compelling than a straightforward invitation. And if you don't yet share real memories together, you can always create emotional scenes through imagination. For example, this morning a picture came to mind. I was walking along the shore at sunset. The waves were soft, the wind was light, and you were in that picture. Do you think we'll ever get the chance to make it real? What makes a message like this so powerful is that it creates emotional truth before reality. It isn't pressure. It isn't a demand. It's a light, effortless. I was imagining, and you were there too. Jung said that real emotional connection enters the unconscious through symbols and imagination. The scene you described becomes a doorway into his inner world. This is very different from saying you're hot. True compliments, the ones that move the soul, aren't the ones we've all heard before. They're the ones that name something, even he might not have noticed in himself. Like a gift, what we remember most isn't the price, but the one that touched something specific, something quietly meaningful inside us. Try sending a message like, Good morning. You know what I admire most about you? It's how you always manage to find something interesting in everything. You have this relaxed, clever energy that's seriously contagious. Why does this work? Because it strikes three psychological chords. Specificity, not just you're great, but naming a real trait he embodies. Presence, it shows you notice him. You weren't replying on autopilot. You were paying attention. Memory anchoring. From that moment on, every time he shows that side of himself, he'll think of you. Avoid exaggerated or hollow compliments like, "You're the most perfect man in the world." That kind of praise often raises red flags, or just feels insincere. More powerful than flattery is seeing him as he truly is, and offering a gentle, honest reflection. Maybe it's the way his eyes light up when he smiles, the passion in his voice when he talks about what he loves, or the quiet sense of responsibility he shows in small ways. If you can notice those details, you'll naturally stand out in his heart. Anticipation is the invisible spark that ignites emotion. Have you ever felt giddy, just thinking about an upcoming date? Or imagine over and over again what a long-awaited reunion might feel like. The moment someone starts to wait for something, their emotions are already involved. Imagine sitting at your favorite restaurant. The waiter walks over with a smile and says, "Tonight there's something special prepared just for you, but it'll arrive a little later." You wouldn't feel impatient. You'd actually savor each moment more, because the suspense deepens the pleasure. As Seneca once said, what comes too easily is rarely treasured. And Jung also emphasized, what remains unrevealed often stirs the deepest longing in the subconscious. So why not try sending something like, "Good morning. I prepared a little surprise for you. You'll never guess what it is. And honestly, I can't wait to see the look on your face when you find out." It sounds simple, but this line activates three powerful psychological triggers. Curiosity. His mind instantly starts trying to fill in the blanks. Emotional pull. Even if he's busy, you'll float through his subconscious the entire day. Shifting control. Now he's the one waiting for you. You hold the tempo. You lead the rhythm. The real magic isn't in how big the surprise is. It's in the feeling of exclusivity and the delicious sense of not knowing yet. The surprise could be a thoughtful little image, a playful callback to an inside joke, a song you think he might secretly love, or even a tiny secret you've been saving for just the right moment. It doesn't need to be dramatic. As long as it's sincere, warm, and uniquely you, it will linger in his mind, because emotion isn't something we're convinced of. It's something that gets awakened. So every message you send shouldn't just convey information. It should be a moment that brings you a little deeper into his emotional world. Those carefully crafted images, that soft nostalgia, the gentle anticipation, all become small but potent gravitational pulls that bring him back to you again and again. And if you're willing, we can keep going. There's a third type of message waiting to be explored, like invitations built around role reversal, or high-value goodbye messages that leave a lasting emotional imprint. They're both powerful tools for creating high emotional stickiness in intimate connection. Shall we continue?